Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Kennedy Kampamba channel, whereby I'm bringing to you what is happening in Zambia, what is trending in Zambia politically and everyday life. Please like and subscribe to my channel and enjoy my channel. Thank you very much.
Hey, good evening Zambians, good evening colleagues around the world, colleagues in different parts of the world. I wanted to discuss a few things. Obviously, I was in Africa for almost a month, exploring, working, looking at different opportunities. And, you know, there's always been this idea of you're not on the ground. So therefore you can't really speak to what's going on in Zambia. Are there any improvements? Are there any issues that we can take a look at? Having been in Zambia, I can tell you that things are not good. I experienced it. Obviously, you know, having family in Zambia means that we have to spend money. We have to take kids to school. We have to take care of our grandparents. We have to take care of all these people. And the issue is not just are things better now, or just like, you know, like conceptual thinking around it like that. It's a simple mathematical thing, right? 4,000 kwacha or 5,000 kwacha was able to achieve A, you know, a few years back versus now. If you spend 3,000 kwacha right now in terms of groceries, it's just one basket. A few years ago, it would have been a lot of grocery items. So my colleagues often talk about, well, you know, things are better, no. Things in certain areas may be better, but it doesn't mean that things are better overall. And from the economic side of things, that's where you really want to take a look at. If I could get more things out of 2,000 kwacha a few years ago, and my salary was, say, 10,000 kwacha, that implies that 20% of my salary was able to give me something. Now, the same thing that you needed 2,000 kwacha for, if you try to get those things today, you need about 3,500 kwacha. Which means, and then mind you, it's not like salaries are chasing inflation. So for every inflationary increase, you get a salary increase. That's what is able to level you in terms of purchasing power. But you have individuals 4 years ago who were making 10,000 kwacha, able to live off 2,000 kwacha in groceries. Now they're still making 10,000 kwacha, but they need to live off 3,500 kwacha. It means Zambians, as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the numbers, are far much poorer now than they were a few years ago. And this is the economic argument, this is the economic reality that we have to deal with. How do we figure out a way to, and again, remember, everything that has caused these increases in cost has been inflationary pressure. Inflationary pressure resulting from subsidies being removed, therefore petrol goes up. When petrol goes up, petrol has gone up almost by 100%. You're talking about 17 kwacha all the way to 30 and change per liter. That's almost a 100% increase in petrol. And obviously, if it's costing me more money to bring you produce in your groceries, I have to charge more for that produce because now I'm paying more in logistics. That's just the reality of the economics. Understand perfectly why things are where they are, but where I have a problem is this argument that things are good. Because the moment you say things are good, you fail to figure out a way to solve those problems. You see? Because, you know, you are forcing, and right now, a lot of my colleagues in UPND are trying to force the reality that things are good on people. And when people detract and say, no, things are actually not good, they end up being insulted, they end up being threatened and all those things. Then if things are good, if the reality is that things are good, why are you afraid when people say that things are not good? You see? Obviously, without a doubt, you guys have always known I support UPND. I will support UPND in 2026. But what I want to be able to communicate is that no, things are not good. And I think it's better it comes from somebody like me than anybody else, because without a doubt, everybody knows my support for the president, and making sure that he does a good job. Like I want that to happen. But it's one thing for me to be claiming things are good while I can see my own family struggling. In order for us to just maintain the level of consumption that we had a few years ago, we need to do more. We need to work more. We need to send more money, because things have become extremely, extremely expensive. Remember, I have nieces and nephews that we are responsible for, because their parents are no more. So now, you're the uncle, therefore you have to take care of those kids. What 20 or 30,000 kwacha a month would have done for me in Zambia is not doing it anymore. We are not able to support families. We are not able to do anything. You see? So I want us to be honest about these things. And again, remember, as a leader, you have to be very careful. Because things are good for you does not mean that you cannot allow others to communicate that they are having a tough time, that they are struggling. You go to the compounds, you go to all these communities in our countries, right? And you look at how they live. You have to tell yourself that there's no way. You have individuals living in a bedroom where they have no access to water. The sanitary is outside. It's impossible for me to genuinely stand up and communicate that, oh no, Zambia is this perfect country. Like the president once said that we're back in the Champions League. No, we've never even qualified for any league. We've never qualified. We really need to stop being provincial in how we look at success for the country. We need to look at success not at what those of us who are better off economically are doing, but our lowest level. How many kids are in school versus a few years ago? How many people have access to water? How many people have access to electricity? I think that's the metric we need to look at, the bottom portion of our society economically. If they have grown, if they have moved, then you can convince me that Zambia is doing well. But if you have a guy who's worth $10 million, now suddenly makes $15 million, and then you come to me and say that, oh, Zambia is doing well, come on, you must be stupid. There's no way a guy who was already worth $10 million before UPND came into power now suddenly starts making $15 million. There's no way that person is indicative of what we are supposed to be doing as public leaders. You've seen the work that we do in the community. We've generally focused on the most vulnerable parts of our society. We deal with issues that are reflective of extreme poverty. And I think the more those individuals grow, the more they become better, the more they have access to education, access to proper health, access to these fundamental needs in our society. That's when I can genuinely stand up and say Zambia is in the Champions League. But as it is right now, there's no way I can say Zambia is in the Champions League. I can tell you we've never qualified in the Champions League ever since we became independent. The ratio of people who are struggling in Zambia is just too much for us to ever be content that things are good in Zambia. No, I spent quite some time in Zambia, and I'm not trying to be political, and I'm not trying to say that there's an alternative leadership. No, within the leadership of my party, within the leadership of the president that I will support, I want us to be honest. I want us to be honest over the fact that no, things are not good in Zambia. And we need to think through these things and plan. It might be that we're not going to change things over the next 5 years, but planning is a critical element to making sure that we're going in the right direction for the people for the people of Zambia. I'm looking forward to open discussion. On my page, it's always open discussion. It's truthful discussion. And I beg of you to see the world outside your comfort zone. See the world beyond your provincial approach. Go to a compound, talk to people, especially those of you who are consistently saying that, oh, things are good, things are good. No, just genuinely go and ask somebody. You may drive a Mercedes-Benz, you may have private insurance, you may have all those things. It doesn't mean that the entire population has that. And in fact, the majority of Zambians, at least 60%, are still living on less than $1 a day. As public leaders, we need to be honest about these realities, assuming that we want to fix this country and make it better for a majority of people, not just a few. I look forward to more discussions. I am going to come back to Zambia for 2 months. I have some work that I need to do within my my investment world, especially on land development, business development, and tapping into some resources that haven't really been tapped into in Zambia. I want to come in and continue building and investing. But I want us to be honest in terms of how we approach these realities, how we approach these issues, all right? Open discussion, your comments and everything, please feel free to contribute. Thank you.